All right, hello Algebra 2 classes. I'm going to go over how to read a word problem and then convert it to a system of equations. And then from there, solving that system and finding a solution. So here we go. Let's take a look. Farmers, Mim, Stoon, and Rue both bought Alibers. So I'm reading right up here. And they also bought Karazes for their farm. Mim Stoon bought 9 Alibers and 2 Karazes for $58, and Rue bought 6 Alibers and 3 Karazes for $42. We're supposed to write a system of equations in standard form. That means ax plus by equals c. And we're supposed to model the relationship between the cost of Alibers and the cost of Karazes. All right? So I need to read that again. So I have these Alibers, and Rue bought, no, Mim Stoon's first. He bought 9 Alibers, and Rue bought 6 Alibers. Okay. And what else do we have? So I know there's 9 Alibers, and Alibers are X's. And then I know that there are these Karazes. There, 2 of them. Mim Stoon bought 2, and Rue bought 3 of them. And the Karazes are the Y's. And the key number then is so many Alibers and so many Karazes together then would equal the total amount of money that they have. So there's $42 and $58. So I'm going to go to my scratch paper and use the X's and the Y's. So the Alibers are the X's. So I'll have 9X. This is for Mim Stoon. This is Farmer Mim Stoon. Mim, I'll call him. 9 Alibers at X dollars each. That's 9 times X. 2 Karazes. The Karazes are Y, so it's $2. I'm sorry, not $2, but 2 times Y dollars. Y is how much the Karazes cost. And together, Mim Stoon spent $58. Then you have Rue, Farmer Rue, 6 Alibers, so it's 6 times whatever the cost of those are, and those are X. And 3 Karazes, so that's 3Y. And he spent $42, total of 42. So that's what I'm going to do first. I'm going to enter that into my GMM here. So I'm going to type in 9X plus 2Y equals 58, and 6X plus 3Y equals 42. And I notice I put a plus sign instead of an equal sign. So I think that's what I want. Look over to the right side of my work. I'll hit the green check, and it's correct. So now I got to take the time and solve this system. Now you have a choice. You can use substitution, or you can use elimination. Well, for substitution, I need to have one of the variables by itself. I don't see that happening here. So I'm going to use elimination. And I'm going to eliminate the Y's. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply. I'm going to use red here. I'm going to multiply the first equation by 3, and then the second equation by 2, and watch what happens. I'm going to pause the video and show you the new set of equations. All right, hopefully you can see that when I did the distributive property with the first equation and multiplied by 3 on both sides, I got 27x plus 6y equals 174. And when I multiply by 2 in the second equation, I got 12x plus 6y equals 84. And now I'm going to use subtraction. So I'm going to pause the video, eliminate the y's, and solve for x. So I found that x equals 6. Then I take that 6. Remember, I substituted back up in one of the original equations. So I look back at the original. I can actually look at my left side of my screen from my GMM. I'm going to substitute it into the first one. That'll be easiest. 9x plus 2y equals 58. So I replace the x with the 6, and I rewrite that first equation. Now all I got to do is solve this for y. Okay, when I solved it for y, I ended up with y equals 2. So I have x equals 6, y equals 2, which is my ordered pair of 6, 2. And I want to make sure when I put those into the equations, I can check it. 9 times 6, 54. 2 times 2 is 4. 54 plus 4 is 58. Checks with the first one. Second equation, 6 times 6 is 36. 3 times 2 is 6. 36 plus 6 is 42. Again, just take a handy-dandy calculator. You can just tap it in real quick, and you can make sure they work. They being the x and the y. So then I come over to my GMM side. What pair of numbers solves this? And it would be what? 6, 2, I believe. So I grab my parentheses, put a 6, comma, 2. Check it. It worked. Now the last part is, assuming they paid the same price, what did they pay per aliber? So the alibers, remember the alibers were the x's, so it looks like 6, so the answer would be about $6. It worked. Hopefully you do okay with those. Watch out for negatives.